All right, this is Obadiah, the first chapter here. And Obadiah is talking about Edom here in the beginning in the first few chapters. But remember, he's a seer. And seers always see to the very root or to the very cause or the very depth of the problem. They just don't see the problem. They see the root of the problem and where the problem comes from. So oftentimes with these olden seers, they will always reveal the root cause in their vision. Okay? And then you got to keep in mind that Edom generally means, and it's figurative of Gentile. Okay, you can look that up in the Strong's Concordance. It's versed that way in the Bible. A Gentile is considered a heathen, a non-believer. And that's what's important to understand, because we're talking about spiritual non-believers, and the root of all the spiritual non-believers in the physical are the fallen sons of God of Genesis 6. Now, they would have you believe that they're unbelievers in God, is when you say heathen. But the true nature and the root of the reality is that the heathen come from this, they get their power of non-belief from Lucifer. Well, Lucifer full well believes in God, but he just doesn't believe in the authority of Jesus Christ. And that's what the true non-believer is in the ultimate spiritual sense, is that they reject the gospel of Christ. They recognize a God, but they reject the gospel of Christ. So even in the Old Testament, it's still the gospel of Christ, even though Christ has not yet appeared in the flesh. He's the creator of all the worlds. He's the creator of this system. He is, for all intent and purposes, the one God in representation of that Father in paradise. So he is the creator of these worlds of time and space. So they reject, and that's what Lucifer rejected. He rejected the sovereignty of Jesus Christ as his creator God. And that's what the whole rebellion is about. So that's where you see Lucifer begins to promote liberty of the self, and he's proclaiming himself as God. And then he offers godship to anyone else under him who will follow him into this darkness, away from the light of the true Father of all that is. So this thing is heavily connected. As we see Edom, we're talking about non-believer, the heathen. This is the root of the non-believer and the heathen. And you can see as it connects to the other verses that I have showed you, and they're exalting themselves in the stars. So you see, this is the judgment of them where they're being brought down. Now let's look to Ezekiel to find out where they're being brought down to. Now check this out. Yes, there are angels, spiritual beings. Yes, heaven is spiritual. I'm not talking anything other than what you don't already know. You have guardian angels. Yes, angels have rebelled in the spirit. Yes, there are demons in the spirit that are termed fallen angels that are now demonic, and that's absolutely true. Absolutely. But what we're talking about is the sons of God who are in the flesh. And we need to understand that the Bible declares that angels are sexless. They are spiritual beings. So right there, if you believe anything other, you're in contradiction with the Bible and its declaration and description of what angels are. But if you look and you believe in what the Bible is trying to show you through some of this dark cloud which is hovering over it, you will see that it holds the truth therein. And you will see the truth be plain as day right before your eyes. So yes, heaven is a spiritual place. And we are talking about spiritual beings that have rebelled. But as always, there are two sides. And the spiritual beings have led the rebellion, which has drifted into the physical time-space realms. Lucifer is a light being. He is a spiritual being. He's not a physical being. Okay? But these sons of God are. And that's why you see in the book of Enoch, they start offering these weapons of war and all of these things that have to do with civilization of men. It's because they come from civilizations like men themselves.